What's the gaming performance like with an i3 7100? Let's find out in our experiments today. So welcome back to Nelly's Nerd Cave, where today we're going to finish our 6-part series of the i3 processors. And this week we're going to be looking at the i3 7100. This is socket 1151, again, just like its predecessor, the 6100. It runs at 3.9 gigahertz. It has a maximum TDP of 51 watts. It has 2 cores, 4 threads. It has 14 nanometer technology, and was released in 2017, which makes this 7 years old. What's it like to game on? Let's find out. So as we go through our videos, we've found that there's been some very good results, and as we've gone up the i3 processors, the scores have increased, which is a nice sign. Let's find out if those scores keep increasing as we go into the i3 7100. Like I said, it's a 3.9 gigahertz processor, and as always I try to keep things as similar as possible. So I'm still using the Kioxia Xperia 480 gig 2.5 inch SSD. On here has Windows 10, 3D Mark, benchmarking software, and Doom Eternal. I have 2 Corsair Vengeance DDR4 LPX sticks. These are 8 gigabytes each. They run at 3200 megahertz. I'm also using, as I have with all these experiments, the Thermal Writer Assassin King 120 SE. This is an air cooler for your CPU. It has 5 heat pipes. It screws down with 2 screws here and has been a very solid cooler for all of these experiments. The motherboard I will be using is the same as last time. This is the Asus. This is the H110M-A/M.2. This comes with one M.2 slot. It comes with the standard socket 1151, comes with a PCIe X16 and 2 PCIe X1s. It also has USB 3 support, as well as 2 headers for USB 2.0, 4 headers for SATA, and your 2 slots for your memory. It's a very solid board. It's really good, and I've used it before, and I find it very easy to use and consistent when it comes to what I'm producing. As with everything else and all the other videos that I've done, I'm using the same 3 graphics cards. So again, I am using the MSI GTX 970. This is the gaming version, which is 4 gigabytes of RAM. This is GDDR5, and it has a clock speed of 1253 megahertz. It runs at PCIe 3 and was released in 2014, and is still a remarkable card to actually use today. It does get a little hot from time to time, so swapping this thing over after a benchmark can be a little intense because it can be very hot. The second card that I will be using is going to be the GTX 1650. This is by Palette. This is the Game Pro OC for overclocking. It has, again, 4 gigabytes, but this time it's GDDR6. It has a clock speed of 1410 megahertz. It runs at PCIe Generation 3 and was released in 2020. Again, a solid card. And according to the Steam survey, the hardware survey that they do, this is the second best card that most people are using. And I know why they use this, because my local PC world is still selling this as part of a 12th and 13th generation Intel processor as a brand new build from their store. The final card is the card that is, according to the Steam survey, what most people are using. This is the MSI RTX 3060. This is the Ventus 2X, and it has a massive 12 gigabytes of GDDR6. It has a clock speed of 1807 megahertz. It's PCIe generation 4 and was released in 2021. This card is quite good value for the money. It costs 278 English pounds, and I think across all of the benchmarks that I've done so far, it's a solid upgrade no matter which generation of processor you have. It's a very good upgrade. It gives you great performance and allows you to play games, even on first generation processors, a lot more reliably. So with that, let's get to the build montage. This video is brought to you by VIP SCD-KEY. If you head over there using my links in the description below, you'll find they offer cheap OEM Windows 10 and 11 keys for which you can use my discount coded links, which give you big discounts on the specified Windows keys. They also offer Office 2019, which you'll be able to get for only £28.28 using the code NNC2. Follow the links in the description below. So for the sixth and final time, here is the results. The GTX 970 is running again on 3D Mark Time Spy at night between 19 and 25 frames per second. You'll see that the score at the end is 3264, which is significantly better than its predecessor. When we move into Doom Eternal, we have a frame rate of between 45 and 75 frames per second, and the CPU is on 95%, which is a little lower than its predecessors. So moving on to the 1650, 3D Mark Time Spy has a frame rate of between 19 and 25 frames per second again. The score at the end is 3179, which is about 100 points less than the 970. So again, it's something I need to investigate as to why that's a little bit lower, but I'm just telling you the scores at this point. Playing Doom Eternal, we have a frame rate of between 48 and 52 frames per second, and the CPU again is at 95%, unlike its predecessors where it was 100% all the time. Finally onto the 3060, and we have a frame rate on 3D Mark Time Spy of between 40 and 65 frames per second. The score is 5490, which is a really high score. It's the highest one yet that I've had. Playing Doom Eternal, we have a frame rate of between 65 and 100 frames per second. You can ignore the ones right at the beginning where it's at 144, but for the simple fact that those were just coming out of the menu, and the menu normally sits at 144 frames per second. But the CPU was now at 98%. It did peak at 100 quite often, but its lowest was 98%. So there you have it. Looking at all these scores across the whole thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a chart up of the difference in scores so that you can see the scores across all the generations of the i3 processors, all the way from the first to where we are now, the 7th, with all the scores displayed nicely for you. And what you'll see is that as we move up the generations and the technology changes, that the scores actually move up. This is really good because this shows us that as technology has improved, that things have got better. And it also shows us that if you have older technology, what you can do is a simple upgrade such as a graphics card up to something like a 3060 with lots and lots and lots of GDDR memory. This will then help with your graphics, it will help with your gaming, and you can see this from the scores on the chart that I'll show you. And so that just shows us that a simple upgrade such as your graphics card can increase your gaming performance, can make this a much pleasurable experience. If you like this video and you like what I do and you've learned something, please don't forget to click the subscribe button below. If you want to see more videos like this and you want to help me along my journey, then please buy me a coffee. The link is in the description, and with that, I'll see you later.